American jury and Bulldog Nation. I want to elaborate a little bit more about Joe Deters and the corrupt politician that he is. Last Reds opening day, and this anecdotally just sums it all up. Last opening day, Reds, I bought 2 tickets for my wife and I to go to the game, sit down really close to the diamond seats. And we bought 2 tickets off StubHub, went to the game, sitting there, and we sit down, and within 5 minutes of our sitting down, Joe Deters came in, and Joe Deters and his girlfriend at the time, Joe Deters' daughter, Joe Deters' son, and Joe Deters' daughter-in-law all came and sat right in front of us. Said, "Hey, how y'all doing? Well, this is funny." I mean, just think about that, of all the places, boom, we sit behind him. Now, Joe, of course, was drinking as always, and his daughter, Elise, who many of you watching this know, was a recent graduate of Chase Law School and was a clerk at Judge Martin's office. Elise starts, and I'm being candid with her, I think she was intoxicated. She starts talking about how she hates Judge Schweiker. And I said, "Why do you hate Judge Schweiker?" She said, "Oh, I've been writing opinions for him, and he's stiffing us on getting paid." My wife and I were flabbergasted. Why? Just think about this. Joe Deters is supposed to be us. We actually were paying Joe Deters to be our political muscle in Hamilton County. Make no bones about it. That's why we wanted Joe on our team. And here his daughter is writing opinions, adverse to us, for Judge Schweiker. And Joe Deters concealed that, didn't tell us that. I mean, like, are you kidding me? I mean, that isn't now. It gets even better. Joe has a conflict in representing Judge Schweiker in the lawsuits we filed against him. So he refers him to a law firm. You know which law firm he refers him to? The law firm his son John works at. Now, I'm going to pull some things. The first draft of the book, and Joe, it's not going to be pretty for you, buddy. The first draft of the book is done, and I'm going to pull some things from the book article that we had. By the way, the first time I ever met Joe Deters in the Cincinnati office, his eyes was glazed over. It was reeking of alcohol. 9 a.m. in the morning. 9 a.m. in the morning. Let me see here. I highlighted some of these things for you. How corrupt is this? While Joe was still affiliated with Stan Chesley's world caved in, okay? And there was a bench warrant for Chesley's arrest out of Kentucky. Joe Deters actually told, and this is still in effect, the Hamilton County Sheriff that he was not allowed to arrest Stan Chesley on that warrant. Where is there law that in Ohio you can't arrest Stan Chesley on a Kentucky arrest warrant? And by the way, nothing's ever happened to that. People ought to be saying, what the hell is that all about? It was Willie who told me that Joe's alcohol problem was so bad that there was interventions by his closest friends. Imagine that. That came from Willie. Now, this is something really good, and I have to admit, I'm saying this for effect. Joe Deters has told me inside stories, personal and political, about everyone. He has told me stuff about federal judges. He has told me, by the way, all these things, there isn't any of these people that would have wanted Joe Deters to tell me these things. Federal judges, Judge Marsh, Judge Guckenberger, Judge Schweikert, defense lawyers, Greg Hartman, Judge Powers, Judge Shanahan, Judge Hendon, Judge Mock, Judge Fisher, Judge DeWine, George Vincent, Judge Martin, Rob Portman, Justice O'Connor, Judge Winkler, Mike DeWine, Judge Kavicki, you name it. You name it. It is, folks, it's unfreaking believable. Here's another one. His mother-in-law, his former mother-in-law, Sylvia Hendon, was a 1st District Court of Appeals judge. And by the way, I like her. I mean, she's a nice person. But you know what? She was on the UC Health's board. Are you kidding me? Here's some more things, just to refresh your memory of why I'm so mad at Joe. The straw that broke the camel's back was he wouldn't even contact Mike DeWine to get us a contact person for Medicaid. Ignored repeated requests. Let me see here. Pat DeWine has been awful for us, Judge DeWine. By the way, here's some more things. Judge DeWine, at his 50th birthday party, at his house, thrown by his wife at the time, gets busted by his, I understand, his stepdaughter or daughter, having sex with a young assistant in his Supreme Court office. That's never been reported. I think I heard, I haven't verified this, that young lady is now working in Joe Deters' office. You know who else works in Joe Deters' office? Pat Fisher's daughter. You ought to go down the list. By the way, full disclosure, and I've admitted this, my daughter and son-in-law work there, and I mean, he wants to fire him, he can fire him, I don't care. They can get jobs anywhere. But I just want you to know, you ought to go through the list of how he uses that office like that. Jim Simon was somebody we paid $30,000 to investigate Judge Schweikert and some of his background. He didn't even disclose to us that Judge Schweikert's son worked at Dinsmore. You know who talks to Jim Simon every day? Joe Deters. By the way, Jim Simon, if you think I'm scared of you, I'm not. Mr. Tough Guy. By the way, Jim Simon is like a Ray Donovan guy that tries to intimidate people like he's going to go break their legs. Jim Simon ever comes to break my legs, I'll kill him. Let me see. Robert Winkler, supposed to be his big political buddy, wouldn't sign the consolidation. And another judge told us they think Dinsmore got to them. Joe Deters refused to prosecute the lawyer representing Children's Hospital for suborning perjury. We gave it to him clear as day. Why? Well, because Alex DeLafonte is of counsel over there at Dinsmore, and George Vincent's over there at Dinsmore. It's unbelievable. It goes on and on and on. I've asked for so many. Oh, by the way, remember that story? Joe Deters said that he was. Oh, Tracy Hunter prosecution. Scott Croswell, the special prosecutor, he vacations at Scott Croswell's place up in Lake Michigan every freaking year. Judge Martin lost the election, was a big anti-us, loses the election. Joe gives him a job at the office. Everybody should know. Police officers, you should all know. All police officers. And I understand there's an FOP meeting coming up. You are foolish to endorse Joe Deters. You know why he prosecuted Ray Tenzi? He didn't prosecute Ray Tenzi thinking he should prosecute Ray Tenzi. Joe doesn't prosecute Ray. He did that as a political stunt to save the city from burning down in some kind of freaking deal, unspoken deal or real deal with UC and John Cranley. Think about it. That's how he rolled on Ray Tenzi. He prosecuted Ray Tenzi, not because he thought he should be guilty, but to allegedly. Oh, by the way, let me tell you something. The best things that happened. Joe Deters, the best thing I got from Joe Deters, he would call me late at night, drunk all the time, and that's when he said the most. It was hilarious. He'd be late at night. He'd call me up. He'd start telling me stuff. You wouldn't believe the stories he told me about 3 of our federal judges. Unbelievable. And by the way, have you noticed? You know, I'm never going to go where I shouldn't go. I have respect for federal judgeships, and I'm not going to wreck people's personal lives. Even some of those names that I've mentioned. I mean, it is pretty sickening how bad the corruption is. And if I left something out, I'm going to come back here tomorrow and do another one.